Okay, welcome to week 9. Let's go see how we did on the previous week. The previous week, of course, was the midterm exam. So you guys did pretty doggone good. Not everyone did fantastic, but vast majority of you did pretty good. Average score was an 81. That's pretty good. 8 A's, 14 B's, 8 C's. That tells me you guys are getting this stuff. Hooray! You guys are doing good. Okay. There's a phenomenon here I really don't understand. I gave you in advance what the last 2 questions were, the extra credit questions, which meant you could have worked on them, days in advance, had it all worked out. So when those questions popped up, you just copy and paste, out of NetBeans and pasted it directly into the answer. It would have taken you 1 or 2 seconds to answer those questions because you had them in advance. However, about half of you decided you didn't want to do the extra credit questions. I guess you just don't like extra points on your quiz. Whatever. Okay, the range problem. So does that always work from one end only? Is that how that works? And logical opposites. Some of you haven't figured this out yet, even though you've seen it umpteen gazillion times. Okay. Comparing strings. That was a repeat from a previous quiz. Formatted output. Yeah, I had a typo in that one. That may have confused you a little bit. A sentinel controlled loop. Does that have to be a particular data type? I mean, unlike the switch statement, which is pretty doggone picky, is the sentinel controlled loop, does that have a requirement for a particular data type? No. Constructors. I told you there was something wrong. All you had to do is find it and fix it. And the thing that was wrong was specifically what I talked about in the review video. Okay, just saying. The array list. The key to answering this question was the fact that it was using a primitive data type. Okay, and then of course, the last one I goofed. Okay, instead of using the word method, I used the word function. Now, quite frankly, the 2 terms are synonymous. That's just not appropriate in a Java class to call it a function. So that one's on me. I gave you some extra credit for that. Okay. Let's go see how we did, how we're going to do on the upcoming stuff. So I'm going to go to modules. I'm going to go to the course schedule. Scoot on down here to week 9. So we're doing chapter 8 and assignment 4. Let's go look at assignment 4. So we go to assignment, scroll on here to assignment 4. Okay. So this one, like many of the others, has some class diagrams. Now, there's 2 parts to learning how to do Java. One is the mechanics of what to type to make things occur. And the other is knowing where to put things. Both are equally important. So I want you to look at this and figure out where things ought to go. That is an important part of programming, is figuring out, well, I need a loop. Let's put it over here. Okay? Where things go is important. So as an example, I have a 2-dimensional array that's buried inside a class. Do you think that meant I wanted you to store the data inside that class? That's kind of what it sounds like, doesn't it? Okay, good. All right. So yes, there's a 2-dimensional array in there. And remember what I talked about having meaningful variable names, particularly when you have an inner and outer loop, because it's kind of confusing. Now I want you to read this one. I'm expecting that all user input and output will take place in the assignment 4 class. What does that mean? Well, that means that the gradebook class is not going to have any scanners, it's not going to have any prints, that kind of stuff. Well, with the exception of error messages. I will allow you to do a system.out or system.error for error messages. But there's no traditional user input or output inside the gradebook class. I'm specifically telling you where I want things to occur. Okay, good. All right. So make sure you use primary input validation everywhere that's humanly possible in assignment 4, and then use secondary input validation and sanity checking everywhere humanly possible in the gradebook class. Okay? Okay, you got it, huh? Okay, good. Okay, cool. Let's go look at the rest. So, the week 9 videos. Okay, so chapter 8 is another one of those philosophically based chapters. It does have a lot of other stuff in it. It's got the static keyword and passing and receiving objects, and it's got this new thing called enumerations. There's even a new keyword called this. But other than that, it's mostly philosophical. There's an awful lot of philosophy in this thing. Anyway, it takes about an hour to go through the videos. They're not that bad. And so please do go watch the video lectures.